guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 816, and honestly, lately, I gotta say, as far as the One Piece anime goes, Toei has been on a bit of a roll. Now, granted, I will say that it probably will slow down eventually after this arc is over, but lately, the episodes we've gotten have been pretty damn good, considering the pacing and whatnot, so yeah, I gotta give Toei props on the last couple episodes, especially this one, especially. And another thing I gotta give Toei credit for is the detail they put on detail they put on Luffy's arms when he was basically when his arms were basically breaking under the pressure of him attempting to escape. Like when we see his arms basically chipping away and breaking, I was like, that it looked like that. It made me believe that I actually hurt to the point where I was even kind of holding my own arms and saying, "Ouch, Luffy, calm down. You're gonna break your arms, Jesus." But yeah, like the detail they put on that one was kind of nice. So yeah, and and do I even need to talk about the Brook and Big Mom standoff in this episode? It's almost like Brooke. It was one of those times where I was like, Brooke, I appreciate how hard-boiled and fearless you were acting in this episode. Hell, if I was in your place, I probably would have pissed my pants with fear. But I said it before, I'll say it again. You're fucked, dude. I mean, it's not even the fact that it's not even enough of a fact that you're facing Big Mom, but you're staring down her two most powerful homies, Zeus and Prometheus. 3 if you're counting her hat or whatnot, but we don't know what he can do yet. And like, what more can I say than just run, Brooke, run? Like Big Mom's words of honestly, I think Brooke is gonna survive this fight, but here's the thing, I think Big Mom is also going to end up as the victor, because we have to remember what Big Mom had said even prior to facing Brooke in this episode and the last episode. She said that she wants that Brooke for herself. So, knowing that, can we just assume at this point that Brooke probably will survive this battle, but he'll probably be defeated by Big Mom. And Brooke's probably going to become Big Mom's personal I don't know, fuck toy or just cuddle buddy. I don't know. Brooke is fucking screwed. Honestly, he is legitimately screwed. There's no scenario of Brooke getting out of this with basically a clear. There's no situation of Brooke getting out of this without getting emotionally scarred, I think. So yeah, and. Now, let's talk about the Pedro and Tamago fight, and honestly, I'll start off by saying this. I don't think it's over, because if you know One Piece, then you know it's only when the big twist happens is when things get serious, and things can't get any more twisted than seeing a literal egg yolk gush out of Tamago after getting cut in two by Pedro, and, seriously, what the fuck was that? It's like the creators took the concept of Dr. Eggman from the Sonic franchise, applied it to Tamago, and turned him into a literal Eggman. What the fuck is Tamago? He has literal egg gushing out of him. So did he eat the egg fruit or something? That's just what? Well, yeah, seriously, that just had me going, what? Yeah, I was. What the fuck is? But yeah, again, I don't think he's. Again, I don't think Tamago is done yet. We of course know that, because this is one of Big Mom's people, and I doubt he wouldn't. I doubt he would be that easy to defeat. I assume that the whole egg gushing out of him is probably going to be part of some new transformation or something But what that transformation will be, I don't know, and I'm scared to find out, because this is One Piece, and when Oda gets weird, he gets fucking weird, and this is definitely ranging on weird territory in terms of Tamago and who he is. So yeah. Then again, I guess the sun should have been there, considering Tamago as a literal eggshell for a body or whatnot, or I don't know what that thing is around his waist, or I don't know what that thing around his waist actually is, but yeah. And But aside from that, the action was, of course, typical One Piece fare of being action-packed, goofy, and managing turns into goofiness into threatening. Because when Tamago was spinning his legs around and turning them into basically a weapon, I was like, damn, what are those legs made of to actually cause literal sparks to ignite during a clash with Pedro's sword? Then I'm sure the lightning around Pedro's sword also had something to do with that. But like another thing that really popped in my head when I was watching this fight is like, Tamago, I think you're stealing Sanji's thing. The whole leg combat thing, yeah, that's kind of Sanji's thing. You shouldn't be stealing that from him. So, but yeah, it was like, yeah, but the action was definitely pretty intense in this episode, and sprinkled throughout, of course, throughout the action was of course Pedro's backstory, which right off the bat I got a note is that apparently Toei did extend the events of Pedro's backstory, which honestly really showcases that when something I've known for a while, which is when Toei gets it right, they actually do get it right. I know there's always been ups and downs with Toei's adaptation of One Piece. I'm well aware of that, but this is definitely this is definitely one of those times where basically the added stuff to Pedro's backstory was definitely welcome for me, I think, and and I think I think it's one of those times where I think Toei just really needs to really pick and choose their battles, because there are some things definitely that definitely do need more, that definitely do deserve more attention and do need to be expanded on. But then there are also other things that, like, no, you don't need to focus on that, or you just need to leave it alone. You don't need to focus on that. So, yeah, it's one of those things where when Toei does it right, they definitely do it right. But they also, I think Toei also needs to be aware of I don't think Toei is almost physically aware as to when they're doing something wrong by extending scenes, and when they're doing it right. I don't know if they're aware of that or not, but I mean, and I know it's not, and I know it's not, and I know it's not, and I know that there definitely is more to it, but yeah, it's definitely, yeah, I know it is easier said than done, but I think they did good here, especially honestly. Like, I don't think this scene was in the manga from my knowledge of it, but the one scene that really got to me was like that scene of Big Mom towering over Zeppo and Pedro Pedro and Zeppo physically turning to his, when we see Pedro and Zeppo like physically facing down Big Mom when Big Mom towering over them. I was like, holy shit, those guys are screwed. But yeah, let's get into the core meat of the backstory itself now. So, like I said, we learn Pedro's backstory of when he was last on Whole Cake Island, and right off the bat, like I said, the companion with Pedro he was traveling with Zeppo. Yeah, I don't think that one really needs any more explanation. Like, the name is way too is way too blatant in order for it to be a coincidence. I think we just saw the death of Beppo's brother in this episode. Like, holy frick. It really does put Beppo's love for his home country of Zoe into a lot more perspective too. Like, Beppo protects it because of where his brother grew up, and his just, yeah, like seeing like, I think, yeah, Beppo's brother. And also when Big Mom, also, I'm not gonna lie, in this episode when Big Mom first said she was gonna shave 70 years off of Pedro's life, I was like, wait a minute, what? Wasn't it 50? Like, what's going on? Was that a translation error? That's kind of what was going through my mind at first, but when the following events happened, it started to make I realized I kind of jumped the gun on that one, and it started to make a lot more sense. Like, but also, it's kind of funny if you think about it. But if Peckham's wasn't part of Big Mom's crew, then Pedro would have really lost his life that day. But because of his plea and Pedro, just by the way, being a total fucking badass, ripping out his own goddamn eye and offering it to Big Mom's an offering, is like, it's because of that he was spared. Like, holy crap. But yeah. Now, the other big question that raised for me from that flashback is, what was Pedro doing there to begin with? Because if I had to guess, like what was it that Pedro was doing on Big Mom's on Whole Cake Island to begin with on that day? Because we didn't really, I don't think we truly got an answer there. But I think if I had to put the pieces together as to what Pedro was doing there, I'd say he was, and judging from that little flashback of Zoe, I'd have to guess it was a mission given to him by definitely one of the leaders, probably Nekomamushi, to retrieve the road glyph or glyphs in Big Mom's possession. Like, that's really the only thing that makes sense to me as to why Pedro would have even wanted to even go on, would even wanted to infiltrate Big Mom's island to begin with. So yeah. Also, in this, I think another thing to kind of in order to kind of back up that theory almost in a way is the fact that we got a look at Pedro and Tamago's bounties in this episode, which is Pedro's was 382 million berries and Tamago's was 429 million berries. And like I said, while Tamago's isn't surprising as to what, since he's one of Big Mom's people and whatnot, of being associated with Yonko is enough to really, in order to really counter as a threat to the world government, it does still kind of make me wonder as to what would cause Pedro to have such a high bounty. Like I said, I think it was due to probably his mission in order to retrieve the road poneglyphs in Big Mom's possession, and maybe even Kaido's, who knows. But yeah, like that's kind of all I can think of from that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Doesn't matter to me. Signing off. Later, guys.